Dr. Evil's Lair. I'm going to take a guess and say that we are live because I see a red light. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Greg Billings and George Harris. Take it away, boys.
Morning.
What do you got for us today? You going to play something for us?
You want us to play a little tune here real quick for the...
I love that. Let's start off with a song, man.
Little pre-sunset song. You ready, George? I'm on. Only two things in life make it worth living. That's guitars, tune good and firm, feeling women. I don't need my name in a marquee line. Got a song that got you with me tonight. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Out of look in my Texas, Waylon and Willie and the boys. The successful life we're living, Scott, shooting like the Hatfields and McCoy. Between them Hank Williams train songs, Ferris train songs, and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out of look in my Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Play it, George. Well, baby, let's sell those diamond rings, buy some boots and faded jeans, and go away. How about that, Billy? It's cool. Killing me in this high society, we cry all day. We've been so busy keeping up with Jones, the 4-car garage, and we're still building on. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love.
Where are we going?
Look in my Texas, Waylon and Willie and the boys. The successful life we're living, Scott, shooting like the Hatfields and McCoy. Between them Hank Williams train songs and Jerry Jeff train songs and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out of look in my Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Take it on. Out of look in my Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Sing it with us, Billy. Ready? Out of look in my Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain.
That's right. We got a trio going here, boys. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Greg and George are, well, they're part of the Greg Billings Band, as a matter of fact. Mr. Billings here.
We're the original members of the Greg Billings Band, me and this guy.
That's right. You, how long you guys been playing together?
That's probably looking at 17 or 18 years now with this band.
Yeah.
How did we meet?
I mean,
he's the only one that lasted. He's the only one that lasted this long.
You threw everybody else out, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
How did y'all meet? You know, I mean, Greg, I mean, your reputation precedes you, but you know, I know you were around here already. But George, all I know about you is that I love Bridget a lot, and you're from Kansas, and that's about it.
Well,
so how did y'all start playing together?
George, we went to Panda Studio, and the last Stranger Band record was Angry Dogs. And we did it at Panda Studio, actually. And that's when me and George actually started. Well, we probably met before then, but we actually got to know each other pretty well then. And George did a great job on Ronnie's guitar sound.
Yeah.
The studio for that record. And I saw George playing guitar, actually, showing Ronnie a couple of tricks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and Ronnie actually looked at me when I said, yeah, this guy can play. And after that record, me and George kept in touch, and he was coming out to see my band, Damn the Torpedoes, and we always said, hey, if we ever want to start a band, let's...
We did that record, too.
Yeah, the Damn Torpedoes.
Yeah, Damn Torpedoes record at Panda on 2-inch analog tape.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. And then I said, George, hey, if you ever want to do something in a band, let's start something. And he didn't know. He had no clue how hard it was going to be to work with me, but we started a band 18 years ago.
He's still here?
I had heard the rumors, you know, I'm just a glutton for punishment. So.
Yeah, and we are 18 years later playing songs for you here on Zoom.
This is the pinnacle. Nowhere to go from here. So listen, Greg, I know George is doing next week, but tell me about the gig at Ruth Eckerd lobby last night. I read about it in the Tampa Bay Times. How was it for you?
Pretty excited about this. Bobby Rossi reached out to me and was like, dude, we need to do something at the hall. I got a great idea. I didn't think it was so great because I'm like, well, you're asking me to play acoustic guitar and people to buy tickets to this thing. I'm like, I don't know if people are ready to do that yet.
Yeah.
And I gave in after about 15 beers over lunch with Bobby. I said, okay, let's try it.
He's very persuasive.
Yeah, the first 3 shows sold out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And he wanted to add another show to each one. And I was very reluctant to do that. But we added an extra show to each one except for the Brother Phil show that we're going to do from Black Honkies at the end of the month because of time restraints. And they sold out as well. So I'm glad he talked me into it. It's fun.
What was it like last night?
It was great. I mean, there was a room.
The people who weren't like your usual crowd was like, man, we're just glad to get out.
Well, I thought it was going to be everybody I knew. I thought the whole place was going to be filled with, hey, I know you, and I knew about half the people, but the other half were Jericho Turnpike folks for McLean, and other people were people that never seen either one of us that were just kind of interested in about what was going on, and they were great. We got at the end of the night, everybody stood up. All 100 people stood up and applauded and really enjoyed themselves. It was really something else.
Was that not 100 people? Probably you still probably played a lot more than that. A lot of the band gigs, but that must have been kind of gratifying. The first audience in what, 3 months or something.
Yeah, because we did a streaming event, George. It's kind of weird because we played for nobody. It was a show. So you finish the song, you're like, I don't know if people are clapping or if people are going.
We did have a little back from
Zoom
from Eric Salerno over at ESI.
Yeah,
great rig where there was less than 2 milliseconds delay, so we could hear 50 people at home. So at the end of the song, you did have some energy coming back. There was a little bit. But it's
very robotic, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it may be the future for a while.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's something they're
careful what you wish for.
Yeah. It's something they're going to work on, but it was really weird, and it might get great later on. But right now, it's kind of weird still. But the other night, I went to the dressing room about 6:30, and the doors opened up at 6:30. There was nobody in the place. I came back up about 7:15, and just the chatter of people, 100 people in the lobby, the chatter. I was like, whoa, listen to that. There's people like congregating, and there's people talking, and there's people getting along and waiting for music. The anticipation of.
I remember that sound. That's what you're thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, what's this going to sound like? Because we'd already done a sound check. We knew what it was going to sound like, but they're like, I wonder what this is going to be like. What's the show going to be like? And for me to come up out of the dressing room and see a house full of people and hear that little, hey, people are talking. It's like, whoa, it was great. It was really cool.
So you needed that as much as the crowd needed it. You needed it for yourself.
Yeah. And the whole night was great. I mean, there were politicians there. No matter what you believe in or no matter what you think about everything going on, people are just there to listen to songs and listen to me tell a bunch of live. And, you know, stories about songs we were playing. It was really cool. It was a nice event.
Greg, you've been an entertainer now for more than 40 years. You know, I was thinking about this. I went back and reread the interview you and I did.
Yeah.
Last year, I guess it was, and I was thinking, I think you were 22 when you moved here. You're from North Carolina originally?
Yeah. Maybe a little younger than that. I think I was 21 when I joined Romeo. So I moved at like 19 or 20. The Buccaneers were like, had Mike Ray at quarterback. So So that was way back. That was probably 78 or something like that.
Well, you know, all the roads you've been down, I guess the real obvious question is to say, like, if you could see your 20, 21-year-old self now, what would you tell him with the benefit of hindsight?
Well, I will tell you this story real quick, and it'll take seconds.
Yeah.
We were at a bar one night in Romeo, and we had the night off, rare occasion, and we're getting hammered. And the singer in the band we were watching was 31. And I looked at the guys in the band and I said, if I'm doing this at 31, somebody shoot me. I said, I will not be singing in a rock band at 31. I will have millions of dollars. Yeah. So here I am, 63 years old and still playing in a rock band.
Well, you know, you went through some shit, you know, a lot of us did. And
George saw all this stuff going on with the whole band. He was close to the Stranger Band when Ronnie, you know, of course, committed suicide, and he was good friends with Ronnie, and we had a nice relationship with George during this whole process of doing a record. So he knows what I went through with that whole situation.
That was a strange time, man. Very strange.
Those early days, I think you referred to it as Jose Cuervo and Quaalude days. I think that was your first.
Yeah, it was
Wild Turkey 101, Bill.
714.
Okay.
Wild Turkey 101.
He's the Cuervo guy.
That's
actually.
I'm the tequila guy.
But you guys don't do that anymore. Now it's all like wheatgrass and
good, clean fun. Yeah. But I was at the beach when the Quaalude days were 714s and then the Roar things came out or whatever it was, the lemons.
Lemons were next.
Yeah. So, you know, we survived those days, and we're still here. And I would say my times, and George will vouch for this, probably 70% of what we've done over the years is positive, you know, and there's that 30% of bad times or, you know, bad news
if that. I don't think so much.
Well, I might be a little bit, but it's mostly been good.
You know, you as a performer, as a writer and a musician, you wouldn't have been around this long if the percentages had been swapped. So it was mostly good stuff. You know, Stranger was great for its time for its run, and you know, times catch up with everybody. But look at you, you're still doing this.
Yeah, and I'll use this cliche that's been used over and over. And I'm telling you, I tell the kids, Robert Taylor Xander played with us last night. A young buck, 26. And you could tell these kids, and people even told me, and I'm going to say it again, if we only knew then what we know now. I'm telling you.
This is what I was asking you about.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but it's been used so much. But kids don't realize, they're like, yeah, whatever, old man, shut the hell up. But if they would just listen to us, right, George?
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if some 63-year-old guy was talking to me while I was out there, you know, I was in the bass, playing bass in a little band with old Tom Griffin out on the Treasure Island, John's Fest. Some 63-year-old guy tried to talk to me. I just shut up, you know. I didn't want to know.
Whatever. But I actually have some new friends now, some young kids that I've made friends with that are really curious about the music business, and they actually listen. Yeah. Because they, you know, I think they can go to Google, they can do research on what we've done, and we're trying to tell them. So they actually, I think kids are starting to listen a little bit more now.
There's a good young scene, especially around here. I work with a lot of. You've been in my studio, Bill. You've been to my place. And I've worked with a lot of young talent around here that's really turned into a really cool scene in St. Pete and Tampa and the whole area. And some of them, I had a couple of friends I've worked with for years that are up in Nashville now doing well. And, you know, I think that's kind of the saving grace of it, is that there are kids who are listening, and there are kids who are following their muse, for lack of a better term. They're really doing some great stuff.
I would agree with that, George, and even go so far as to say, well, you can only, you know, look to and learn from the past for so long. You have to stand on your own 2 feet, you know, and a lot of us are survivors, which is great, but you know, there's some people who make their own mistakes. Listen, George, I wanted to talk to you about, you're from what, Kansas? You're like
They tell me I am. I don't remember it all. I was born there.
You don't remember doing Carry On Wayward Son? Yeah.
Well, they tell me I was born there, but I really don't remember. That's exactly right.
I thought it was Iowa.
I lived in Iowa for a while. I lived all over. I lived all over the country. My dad was a fix-it guy for Holiday Inns. He was a manager, and we would stay 6 months in one place and live in the Holiday Inn and move on. You know, he'd hire some people and set the thing up, and we're out of there.
Did you ever see that movie, The Florida Project, with Willem Dafoe as a hotel manager up in Orlando?
Oh, cool. I got to watch it.
A single mom and her awful kid. Yeah. But I mean, it's the same thing, you know.
Yeah. We traveled the country doing that. And man, we were really poor. I lived a good part of my formative years on an Indian reservation with musicians. That's how poor we were. So, you know, picture that. And, you know, so I kind of got to see, lived in hotel rooms, and nobody was surprised when I chose to go on the road when I was 18 and stay on the road for a while.
Yeah. You started playing guitar pretty early?
Well, I played drums when I was 5. I started playing drums because we lived with musicians. So the drummer kind of said, hey, this kid has a good time. Let me teach him. And I ended up playing club gigs when I was 6. My first club gig, I was 6.
Wow.
In Mesa, Arizona. And then
that's when they started doing shots of tequila.
That's right.
They started early on, right?
You know, the wire services picked it up. In those days, there was no internet or anything. So the AP picked it up, and we ended up going out and doing the Mike Douglas show with this little bar trio, you know, because I was a kid and I played the drums and sang at the cathedral or something. You know, it was totally cheesy.
Is there a video of that somewhere?
The die was cast. I can't find it anywhere. I've looked for it for years. But, you know, it was pretty funny.
So it was always been music for you, in other words.
Oh, yeah. We moved to Iowa, and I took accordion lessons and played accordion for years. Won an accordion championship in Iowa.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
Then we
you still play?
A little bit. I've got a couple at the studio. I consider myself a gentleman, Bill. That's someone that knows how to play accordion and chooses not to.
Hey, Bill, he pulls it out when he gets a gig once every 15 years.
Yeah.
Playing the accordion.
I'll play on the
bar mitzvah circuit, that kind of thing.
Got to find a banjo player and a trombonist to get a trio together.
Yeah, that's cool. That's real cool. So how'd you end up here?
Oh, my dad retired. He was managing the Madeira Beach Holiday Inn, 1973.
Wow.
This is where he moved to retire. He's going to finish up there. Yeah, we lived at the Madeira Beach Holiday Inn. We moved down there.
You guys didn't meet in the 70s, though. That was later.
Yeah, I don't think we met in the 70s. We might have.
Greg, when you were Greg was living on Madeira Beach, I think.
Madeira Beach.
Yeah, I snuck in skips all the time when I was, 14, 15. My dad knew skips. And he'd say, hey, let the kid sit at the bar. He won't drink. You can hear some bands. And I remember hearing Hoochie and all kinds of different people down there.
Yeah.
Great times, man. Great place to be if you're a kid learning to play music, It was a great scene.
Yeah. It always has been going back. I wrote a lot about 60s garage bands and stuff here. And there was always this cool stuff. Yeah. And, into the 70s and the 80s was very cool. I always think of Stranger's Time, Greg, as the 80s. The epic records.
Yeah.
Right on the cusp there, that decade. Is that about right?
70s, I was kind of just a kid playing covers in the 70s.
Yeah.
But the 80s rolled around, then it was more of a hair band kind of thing. So, yeah. if I was a person in town, I would think I would definitely put Stranger as an 80s band. You know, even though we went the 90s, it was still an 80s sound.
How did it evolve? I mean, from Romeo to Stranger, though, did it just keep getting bigger and bigger?
Well, I was not a Romeo guy. I mean, I joined the band, and Ronnie was the Romeo. Ronnie was a pretty boy, and he was a chick magnet, of course. I was just
not you, right?
No, not me. And actually, the name came from we were in LA doing our first album. We went out to a bar. Yeah. We were so used to going out to bars in Florida and everybody knowing who we were and getting free drinks, and all the chicks knew us. And we went out in LA to see Kevin Dubrow, actually, from Quiet Riot.
Quiet Riot, yeah.
His band, yeah. And we were sitting there. We couldn't get any chicks to talk to us. Paid full price for drinks. And we were like, we kind of feel like strangers here. And that's how the actual name came about. So
cool story. Have you told that story on stage before? That's a good story.
Kind of that way, but not as not as good as I just told it. Let's put it that way.
We'll watch the video of this later.
Yeah,
write it down.
Yeah.
Well, what was interesting to me was that, I mean, we talked about how the Tom Werman album kind of came and went, and it wasn't what you hoped, and it wasn't really successful. But you made, so that wasn't the brass ring, but you made a damn good living for quite a long time with that.
Yeah, I mean, we did okay. I mean, trust me, we weren't driving fancy cars or anything, but the record did okay. I hate the record. I mean, it's not even close. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like the band.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know what they did. They rushed us, and we played really fast. But we're talking about, next year is going to be the 40th anniversary of that record.
Yeah.
And I'm in negotiations with George here to remaster it.
Oh yeah.
At the best we can, and maybe release it as a little, a couple of 100 copies of the CD, and remaster it so people can maybe hear a little better.
Maybe have a little bottom on it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have the multi-tracks? Can you actually read?
No, I have the multi-tracks. I don't know who has them, because like I said, they're 4 years old now. Yeah. And so it might be a stretch, but I think George can run his magic. Just like on the CD I just released with the cassettes that I found.
Yeah.
Of all songs. I turned them into digital. George put his little monkey dust on there, and it made him sound pretty good. He's a genius. Yeah, he threw some monkey dust on it. But that monkey dust machine cost like 20 grand.
That's voodoo monkey dust, man.
Yeah, the machine cost grand, and we made 2,000 on the project. So we're in the whole 18 grand.
So you already got to crank out some more stuff.
Yeah,
you've got a pretty faithful fan base still. I mean, it's still people, because I see you guys talking on Facebook all the time, and when you're putting these releases out, people are excited about, not only the old days, but where you are now, and it's good. It's almost like making connections with friends.
Yeah, I don't know. We did not put this recipe together where, okay, we're going to do this later in life. We're going to do this early in life. We're going to do this in the middle of my life.
Yeah.
It's just the way things worked out. And the best thing I can tell you, Bill, is I made so many friends over the years. I mean, not fans. I don't call them fans like we talked about before. They're friends. They got my number. They can call me. I call them. We exchange emails. They're faithful people that remember the Stranger days, and
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we might have talked a couple times, but I don't care. They're friends of mine, and I think they feel that connection, and I think they feel it all over the country when we do something Stranger related or Greg Billings Band related. They all feel a connection with that 80s thing, going out and drinking all night. I don't know what they did for a living. Never asked questions. Everybody
still a golden rule.
Yeah, everybody was drinking Heinekens and top shelf liquors 7 nights a week. We never asked. It was just they were all friends, and we've made some great friends over the years, and we've continued to stay in touch. And I think that helps.
It's a pretty amazing scene, man. I mean, there are people. I've been 18 years in this thing, and there are people that come to see us regularly now that were at our first gig. People that were there.
That's real cool.
They stay. Yeah, they stay.
When the band was a trio and we were just starting out, we didn't know any songs, and the same people are still coming to see us. It's amazing.
Well, George, when you came into the band, obviously it was after the 80s and 90s and all the bigness of Stranger. But I mean, because of this, what you're talking about, do you find people know maybe these tunes so well, know this music so well, somebody will come up to you and say, man, that's not the way Ronnie played that solo. They know it better than you. Does that happen?
People have been really kind to me. Let me put it that way. Ronnie and I used to get together and play, and we would show each other licks, as you do. You sit around with somebody and, hey, try this one, man. And I was like, dude, I am never going to play like you. And he was, that's okay. I'm never going to play like you. It was one of those things. And so I've kind of tried to make it comfortable for myself by making it my own a little bit. I mean, I play a lot of Ronnie stuff, and there's certain things you have to play. You can't play Swamp Woman without playing. It's got to be there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not. I think he'd appreciate that I'm not playing his exact solos or, trying to do that same thing every night.
Yeah.
There's a little room there for me to be me, and I appreciate that.
And what's good about,
I'm sorry, Greg, go ahead.
When we do the Stranger music, what's really good about it, and I think what's really changed over the last 10 years when we added Kyle, our second guitar player. Kyle was a big Ronnie fan. I mean, and a friend, and they got along great. And Kyle learned his stuff lick for lick. So when Kyle does a solo or rhythm tracks that Ronnie did, he does them almost note for note. But George does them a little bit more his style with a little bit of Ronnie mixed in. So it's still got the rhythm tracks going.
Oh, yeah. George, so it moves in different directions. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if Kyle takes a solo, George is playing a different rhythm track maybe than Ronnie did, but Kyle's playing a perfect solo like Ronnie did. So it's like one of those things. We didn't plan it that way.
Yeah,
it was never planned. It just
keeps it alive. Exactly. It keeps it alive and breathing. You're not a tribute band. You're not and
it's not like a theater thing where you're posing. It's still meaning it.
Once in a while you'll get somebody say, oh, well, that ain't the way Stranger did or whatever. It's like you let it go and let it slide. But I don't have many complaints. They want to go out and hear these songs live and mixed in with some of our own stuff. So it's the best of both worlds. I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope it lasts a long time, but it can only go on for so long. These songs, people seem to, they seem to come to the songs. They seem to come to our shows. And they gather around when we play the songs. So, I mean, I don't know how long can it go on, Bill?
You know how long it's going to go on, Greg? I'm going to be talking to you when you're 83. And you're going to say, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you want to do another song for
us? Yes, right.
Right. But I think we can play it. I mean, if I couldn't sing the songs, we're still natural tune. We're not tuned down or anything. I can still hit the notes. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not. Hardly can't sing Long Tall Sally anymore. It's gone down to
Long as I can hit the high notes of Swamp Woman, we should be good.
Yeah. So you know what? We're just about out of time. I'd love it if you take us out with another tune. You guys got something else you can play?
Hadn't thought about that, Bill.
Hadn't thought about that one.
But we still have our guitars.
Pick one.
Let's see. What can we do, George?
What do you think?
What do you feel like?
That's a good question. Let's just do a verse of Swamp Woman real quick. I'm gonna take you out.
Oh, that'd be cool. Hit them high notes, Greg. Hit the high notes.
This is acoustic version.
Yeah.
Keep going. Here we go, Bill. Down south, Alligator Alley. This chick named Sleazy Sally. She's still about 6'3". Damn woman scared the hell out of me. Oh. Naturally, kind of green. Biggest woman I'd ever seen. She was wild as a crocodile. That's what they call her, swamp woman. Take it home. One more time.
Rock and roll. Thanks so much. Hey guys, what?
That's what you're going to get next week at the Ruth Eckerd Hall show. The GBD
It's Thursdays.
Thursday
The Ruth Eckerd ones.
Yeah,
Thursday and Friday next week
with the incredible Kyle Ashley.
Yeah.
When is yours, George? You got one coming up with him too, right?
Yeah, that's those.
Next Thursday and
That's going to
Friday.
be myself and Kyle.
Oh,
Ashley.
you and Kyle both.
Yes.
Triple
18th
trouble.
and the 19th. 18, 19.
It's going to be the
Very
Florida
good.
Guitar Army Mark II.
Yeah, I hear that. Brothers, thank you. Have a great Friday evening.
Good talking to you, Bill.
Good to see you, Billy. You're the
See
best.
you guys.